An interesting fact is that Indigenous Australians are actually really enthusiastic users of social media, and their uptake is over 20% higher than the national average across Australia. And even in remote communities, because people always go, oh right, that'd be in the city, is it? No. Even in remote communities and right across our country, Indigenous Australians in our furthest remote places, up to 60% of them are indeed on social media. And I know this because some of them are my friends on Facebook. But I've used social media for recruitment. So under my model that I research under, I always look for locally specific Indigenous people to act as research assistants in their local community. And that's because, might be a surprise to some, there are many Indigenous communities and we're not all the same. And you might not know this, I might not know all the languages because there are hundreds, and I might not know all the protocols in different varying communities, very localised. So I look for a local person in those communities to assist me. In essence, I am non-Indigenous in that space, to that community. It's not my community. I don't know the protocols, I don't know the rules, I don't know who's who, I don't know the factional situation, I don't know who I should be speaking to, so I always get a local specific person. So we indeed use social media to recruit people in that area. And the reason, and some people might say, well, not everyone's on social media, then they wouldn't know who to recruit for me if they weren't. So they need to be on social media to be a recruiter for social media. So it does count that they are actually. And it's important that it's paid work for our community as well. So we use social media also for recruiting participants. So we let people know where we're going, and we let people know that we want to actually engage in some research with them. So in this process, it's recruiting people for qualitative interviews, but also for a survey which we have run now, and hundreds of people have responded to that survey also. And we can see that local community people actually jump on board and give the project some sort of approval or some sort of acknowledgement that it's actually something that's of interest to Indigenous people. So we actually really rely on that. And so for those people who have not done any research with Indigenous populations, it's very important that our communities actually think that there's some worthwhile benefit to them or interest. Otherwise, nobody will participate, which would be pretty sad. So in a way to, just keep that communication going, we keep giving updates, we keep telling people about the survey, about the project. We also join community pages. So some of the communities that we've visited have their own Facebook pages. And some of those stories are really quite interesting in regard to privacy and some of the things that Fiona was just speaking about. One community that I went to, had a local health service there, and the health worker was trying to get hold of some of the community members saying, why aren't they coming to their appointments? And one of the other health workers said, oh no, they're not coming tonight, there was a big do on last night, and so they're sleeping in, they're not coming. I said, how'd you know that? I said, it was on Facebook. How would you know that? And so that particular community organisation then decided to set up a Facebook page to keep information flowing to their community, seeing they were all on Facebook. But what they didn't understand was the privacy settings. So they would say, hey, Auntie so-and-so, your results are in, they were positive, can you pop by the clinic this afternoon? So some education for community members who are just beginning on social media is a real requirement. So that's sorted, privacy settings are in place, private messaging is in place. But those kind of things can happen when people aren't aware. And that happens to anyone when they're not aware. I see some things that my mother puts on there, I'm in shock. Giving back to our communities is very, very important, as is ensuring that we disseminate all our findings and people have access to it. So we literally send stuff to the communities that we've worked in if there's a community org involved, but we also post around the kind of findings that we find on our survey, and we also put up any publications that we have done which has drawn that information from particular communities, and we'll send a hard copy out to participants as well. So this is all available on our Facebook page if you want to check it out.